Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We're Sean and Renee, and today we're going to be talking about RV renovations.
We have about 10 years of experience with flipping, renovating RVs, and we are going to cover week 1 of our latest RV renovation.
This last winter and spring, we were doing a project in Maine, and I think it was about April that we received a message on Instagram from a client, our potential client, who was interested in us doing a renovation down in LA. We had been planning on spending the whole summer after we wrapped up our main project exploring the East Coast because we hadn't done that a lot in our RVing. So we were a little hesitant to actually take on that job. But after going back and forth, we always will do some sort of consult call or multiple calls with potential clients. And after talking to Elton and Ginger, our clients, we really thought it was going to be a fun project.
So the reason Elton found us was he found our YouTube video on how to replace the ceiling. They had some water damage in their ceiling. He found that video on YouTube, decided it was out of his scope of work, and so he reached out to us and we were able to begin negotiations.
So it's really ironic that he found us on YouTube because he actually runs 2 very large YouTube channels, TFIL and Overnight. Because Sean and I only use YouTube, or mainly use YouTube for how-tos, we're kind of old school, we actually had no idea who he was. So somebody who has 2 major YouTube channels ended up finding our very small YouTube channel, and I just find it very ironic. He just said not even the entire YouTube video and just like looked at our Instagram once before hiring us, which is wild. So
but it does give you an idea of how great YouTube can be. I mean,
the connections.
It's pretty awesome, the connections you can make because of it, for sure.
So we pack up our whole family, we hightail it from Maine to LA. I think we ended up going from Virginia to LA in like 4 days, 3 days. It was wild. And then we met up with them and we started discussing more details of the plan. He really wanted to kind of go with more of like a very traditional kind of van life look, lots of blacks, whites, and wood. Keep it really basic because not only was it going to act as a tour bus, because it was kind of another member of his YouTube channel, he also wanted it to almost have 2 personalities, to be a tiny house on wheels for him and his future wife.
The reason we had to hightail in 4 days is because they were getting married later in the summer and they wanted it completely redone before their wedding. It had, again, a lot of meaning and a lot of purpose in their wedding. It was going to be the bachelor party, it was going to be a green room staging area at the wedding / reception, and then they were taking it on their honeymoon. So it had a very restrictive time limit of when we had to get this done.
We joked that the motorhome was playing more parts in the wedding than they were. And so we really were, it was a tight deadline. And it was also probably the most detailed project we've ever done as well.
We had a lot of custom builds, a lot of things that Elton had a really good idea of what he was looking for, and so we just had to bring that to life. I think some things came out different than what he was looking for, but in the end, we're very happy with.
He hired us for more projects, so he can't hate us, right? Yeah. So we get there, we discuss things with them, and then we start ripping apart this RV. Day 1 of the renovation, we are ripping everything apart. Sean and Levi are taking the couch over there. It is going to the dump pile. There it is, right there. We have ripped all of the cabinet doors off right here. Oh, apparently there's one more left. And we took all the drawers out. We ripped out the beds out here. We put every single thing into like little baggies to keep it, like all of the hardware in little baggies. We label them, keep track of everything, make it so that when we're putting everything back together, it's not a huge disaster. We are right now, I'm vacuuming everything out. There was some furry friends that had lived in here, the small kind you do not want. So I'm vacuuming up all of the evidence of that. And then we are going to start ripping apart the ceiling. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, just cleaning things out, finding some fun junk behind the cabinet doors. There's like these really crappy like spaces that just stuff gets lost back there. So we are going to make it so stuff doesn't get lost back there so we don't get that situation. And over here, we're going to do a really sweet space where it can be turned into bunks, but it can also be an office space. So like a split desk with a chair in the middle, desk, you sit this way or you sit that way. And then it can also be turned back into bunks. And then we're gonna rip all of this out. We have Sean and Levi back over here. And what are we gonna do next?
I think the bunks in the back are where we're at now.
Bunks in the back. This cabinet is super water damaged, so that's gonna come out as well. And Yeah, probably pull out the dinette and stuff too. He's over here pulling apart cabinets for us. This one is super water damaged. So I asked Levi if he would pull it apart, and then we'll just build another bottom for that over there as well. Jesse is now helping disassemble the bunk beds. You helping out, Jess?
Yeah.
Yep. You dad's little helper? Mm-hmm. Lincoln is over here. What are you doing?
I'm undoing the drawer tracks. I barely counted. I have to undo 48 screws.
48?
Yep.
That's a ton.
There's 4 per track, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Hey.
12.
So 12 times.
12 times 4 is 48.
Hey, good math. See? Practice math even in regular day life, huh?
Yeah.
When we do these RV renovations, we are kind of ripping most things out. We're pulling out, you know, cabinet hardware. We're pulling out cabinet doors. We actually pulled out entire cabinets out of this one. The kids love this stage of the renovation. They love using the drills to remove hardware, ripping out things, and it's just a lot of fun. You helping out, Jesse?
Yeah.
What you doing?
Just. Ow, crap, I did not mean to push that one. I did not mean to slip.
That's okay, baby.
But it didn't break the wall, that's good.
Going
Going a little bit easier on that one.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I did not.
I'll keep reading.
Ripped out everything in this room, and now he is on the whole bed, all that stuff. Now he's ripping out the cabinets, and the whole thing's coming out. We are going to put more usable storage in this space instead. So there she goes.
It is. The last of the cabinets out of back here that we're taking out.
Last of the cabinets.
Okay.
And the same thing with here. We'll probably do drawers or something like that. I don't know. Sean will come up with something awesome, right?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Oh my god, I figured since I started back here, so.
Pretty much everything's ripped out now, and that is a wrap for day one of demo day, day one of the renovation. And we will see if we end up ripping this out tomorrow. We are kind of rethinking that plans, but all in all, we are tired, gonna go home and have some dinner.
It is sanding time. My workstation set up here, looking good. Got ourselves a sunshade here because, well, the sun is out and it is toasty. Nice warm one today. So this actually saves a lot of heat. Yeah, as I feel it, it's even hotter than I thought it would be. So we're just out here behind the rig. Here's the motorhome right there. Nice little spot set up. We got some sawhorses with a piece of plywood, and then put this little bit of barrier down to protect the door so I don't get any major scratches or dings or anything. So got my orbital 220 respirator, keep us safe. There's my extra sandpaper right there. Let's get her done.
So after we did all the basic demo in the RV, it was time to start working on and ripping into the ceiling. I was gonna start getting the walls inside prepped while he is sanding all of like the doors and cabinets outside. And then I noticed that a lot of the ceiling up here was super water damage. So we knew that we had water damage on the main part of the ceiling in here, and our clients had the entire ceiling redone, but I am concerned they did not redo the slide out ceiling. And look, I mean, it's wet, it smells mildewy when we pulled off of the wallpaper stuff. And so I'm trying to cut all of this out, because if we leave this in here and we put something over the top of it, it will just mildew and mold, and we definitely do not want that in here. So I have my handy dandy little multi-tool over here, and we are cutting right up along the edge here, and then the water damage extends to about, where are we at? To about here, from what I can tell from the screw holes. So that is what I am up to today.
All right. So Renee found water damage up there. So we're out here seeing what could cause that. Lo and behold, we got holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something caught on there, ripped it, and that's gonna allow water to get in there, and yeah, we'll get these holes patched up, make it good. All right, Renee, what are you doing here?
I am ripping the wet ceiling out. We just used the multi-tool and cut it.
Listen to that.
Splashed.
Yeah, listen to that.
It's freaking disgusting. Oh, there was like standing water in there. Oh, oh.
Okay, guys.
Smell.
Maybe you should go out. Yeah, while it.
Super disgusting.
Good times.
All right, trying to get the water damage out of here.
The ceiling presented, as we said, more challenges. So as we were opening it, we were finding actual water still inside there.
Dripping.
We pulled down another damaged area in the slide out, and there was actual water inside there. The insulation was completely saturated.
So we just ripped all the material out of there and replaced everything.
Yep, 100% new insulation, new decking, new everything. Able to go outside, find that there was just a small hole in the slide out topper, and that's all it takes sometimes, is just a little tiny hole. So,
and then the main water damage, he had taken it into Camping World to get the entire ceiling or roof redone too. So before we even started on it, all of that kind of exterior stuff had been taken care of. So we were just doing some remediation on the inside to make it so it actually looked decent.
Just out here and hearing all these noises, and like, oh shoot, what's she getting herself into? Uh-oh.
It's really rotted.
Delicious. Shoot, dang.
It's pretty gross.
Need to clip that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good times.
I just pulled all of the damaged ceiling off right here. So every place that there's any water damage, this ceiling came off super easily. I was planning on taking this entire panel off all the way forward underneath where the bed is, but anywhere that wasn't water damaged, it does not come off. It will not come off. Everywhere that it was water damaged came off super easily. So you can just see I've made a huge mess. Gonna get all this cleaned up. And then we're just going to do, look at that, big, huge mess. We are going to do beadboard over the whole thing. We're just going to take off this section though of this original ceiling. It's the only area that was actually water damaged. And then here's that huge mess. We're a mess. Another one of the bathroom, removing mirror. It's a good thing I'm not superstitious because it broke. This mirror is actually like glued to the freaking wall, which is
He wanted so many new windows. Most of them, it seemed to me that was going to be pretty practical.
Be impossible to remove it without
getting our
busting
hands on
it.
in
So
person.
it's Good thing we'd already talked about getting a new mirror.
Luckily, we only encountered a couple of different wires, a few different things we had to read out. For the most part, there wasn't a whole lot of surprises.
But in the end, we actually added in five
large windows.
Yeah.
So much light, so much airflow, and it turned out so amazing. It really couldn't have imagined it turning out any better.
We added a huge window above the dinette. We added a very large window in the bunk room / office, and then 3 huge windows in the back room. They really wanted to be able to have kind of 180 views of whatever places they were parking at, kind of similar to something like a schoolie, whereas before they just had like the stupidest, littlest windows in there. So honestly, I feel like it made a huge difference. But because we moved some of the placement of the windows, Sean did end up having to do like Bondo on the outside, fixing the Phylon material.
Do fiberglass, then Bondo, and then paint everything to try and make it look really clean.
But that wasn't on week 1. So we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah, good call.
We didn't do that on week 1.
That was not week 1.
But we did cut into the windows, and it was amazing how much more airflow it even allowed. And it really made, I would say, one of the biggest differences in this renovation.
For sure. Absolutely, yeah. And then, of course, when I made the biggest change, the first cutting of the window, I didn't film it, so I'm sorry. Renee showed up a little later. She was less than pleased with me.
It's all right. It's all right.
We're still learning. We're still learning.
We're still learning. We'll get better footage next time.
So as expected, the wire just went straight up to this outlet up here. This is an inverter outlet. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually move it over to the side over here so that they have an inverter outlet.
So while I was not here earlier today, Sean cut an entire wall apart. Cut the entire wall open, and we're gonna put a new window in there. We are having an issue with this bunk bed. It will not come down, which is an issue because we need to be able to pull the whole ceiling down to be able to install a new ceiling. I was trying to remove these captain's chairs. So Sean is using a breaker bar, breaking it loose, and then letting the less muscular inclined humans do the rest.
Or the people that had dislocated shoulders. One of the two.
Yeah, that's true. Fun fact, I dislocated my shoulder in January and had no idea that it was mildly dislocated. And it was like that until I got it fixed a few weeks ago. So it was like 5 months of a dislocated shoulder. So trying to baby it a little bit, but it's hard because I just want to do renovation stuff. I'm going to putty all of the holes, and then I'm going to sand everything down. And that's kind of what's on the docket for today.
Our window is here. Open this bad boy up. Get it in that opening right there where Levi's cleaning up the exterior for us, getting it ready. So we're getting ready to install this window. The new window is about 1/2 inch wider than what our opening is here. Just got to widen this just a little bit. I didn't want to cut the width until I had the new window here.
Most of week 1 was taken up by demo, kind of addressing issues in the ceiling, kind of creating a plan, and then the windows. Usually by the end of week 1, we're hoping to kind of have paint prep finished, but because there were a lot of extra variables in this project, we were just starting paint prep by the end of week 1. Just like patching holes, starting on the sanding. We did do sanding of cabinet doors, I believe, started at week 1, but that did move over to week 2 as well.
For sure. One of the big variables that we had was the bunk bed above the dash or above the driver's seat would not come down.
Without it lowering down, we could not access the ceiling to even troubleshoot a lot of the issues in there.
We couldn't access the ceiling, but then we also couldn't access all of the cabinets that we needed to prep, paint, do all of that stuff with as well. We couldn't remove the ceiling. We couldn't any of that stuff. So
the amount of time that Elton spent on forums trying to troubleshoot this.
Fuses purchased. Yes. I mean, we did everything we could. New switches, nothing worked. So we've been struggling. This bed right here has not come down the whole time we've been here. So we've been working on it for like a week and a half, playing with fuses and switches and kind of just everything, messing with all of it. So we finally got the bed to work today. We don't even know what we did to make it work. Just kept playing with things, checking connections, doing all that stuff. Finally we got it down. So got it down. As you can see up here across the top, there's a little bit of paneling falling down, so we're going to take that out and take a look and see what we got up there, what our damage is, and we'll go from there. Alright, good news. Get up here. I think it was just nails that fell out. There's no water damage that I can see anywhere. Everything looks clean. There's no signs of any water. There's no smell. There's no anything anywhere. So I think we just had a piece of trim that was poorly placed, which is really great news. That means we don't have to fight this up front here. So Levi over here prepping our new ceiling panels. Do a nice wood beadboard look. Get some good paint on there. Make it look super awesome. He's just hitting them with some 220 sandpaper so they'll be a little smoother when we apply our first coat of primer. Okay, so in order for this to work back here, we're going to have a big storage area, so I'm going to frame up and around this door right here. And what we're going to do is we'll have a bench on this side and then a bench on this side. The bench on this side will actually have a pull-out section that slides out and completes what would be a queen-size bed, essentially. Sure, there'll still be a little bit of a bench over here, but that's okay. The whole point is to have a nice, good seating area, very comfortable to chill, hang out, film. But then when it comes time for bed, they'll have a queen bed here and an upper bunk up there. So I'm going to start framing that now. Now we're going to get started on this build out. So we got our boards cut to length. We'll start putting them together.
Sean's over here building beds.
Something like that. Trying to maximize space and save some knees.
Without it.
Yeah. So I think
we just lose that little area. Right
exactly.
there.
You lose the one little tiny thing. Not a big deal. So
Yeah.
I figured I didn't even really think about the knee bashing, but I've never bashed my knee on it. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine if you've walked through here 100 times, then
Yeah, it's
doesn't feel good. So
yeah. If you saw the old bed, there was like duct tape all over it because it was better than foam, and people just kept smashing their knee in. The only thing would be we just open that up from that side, and at least you can get into it.
Yeah,
So we saw like
there's more,
just a dead space.
more storage space, and I can honestly, I can even cut from here down and just completely make this a big usable space from inside there.
You can get through from there. That's even where you could store the
we can mount the shower. Yeah, mount the outside shower.
Yeah,
right
perfect.
here.
Just mount it in there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks,
Cool.
dude.
Got it.
Cool.
Cover this bad boy up.
I'm just finishing up sanding. Sean's out there cutting boards for the bed he's making in the back. And I'm just going through, I did most of the sanding, but there's just little areas that I missed. So like up here, there's areas that I missed. And then inside of these cabinets. And then after that, we will go through and we'll wipe everything down. The boys were already helping me wipe everything down before we start masking, because you don't want anything dusty. The masking tape will not stick to it if it's dusty, and it'll also get in your paint when you're spraying on there. So we try really hard at this point in time to keep everything super clean. So lots of wiping, lots of vacuuming, and lots of sweeping. It's day 2 at the tile store. Came here yesterday with the kids to get a few samples to take over to Elton and Ginger. They went through them, and then now that I have a better idea what they want, we're getting a few more. And I also forgot to get flooring samples yesterday. So drove back over to the flooring and tile store, gonna get some flooring samples, and we're picking up some more tile samples. So this is what I have. We have the hexagons. And I'm gonna pick up some more of these too, which look really similar, but this one has more of like a stone look to it, whereas this one has more of a marble look to it. So we're gonna look at them side by side in the RV and see which ones we're feeling today. Back at the RV after picking up samples at the store. We have tile stuff here. I have all of the flooring pieces laid out here. And now I'm going to move on to wiping all of the walls. We use a heavy duty degreaser to get all of the dust off, but we also do it so that there's obviously no grease because paint's not gonna adhere to those very well. So after I wipe everything down, we're going to also mask everything too, so Sean can come in and spray everything. Sean has been here all day while I was running errands and taking care of kids. I actually have no idea what he's been up to. What have you been doing?
Building out the outside space. So they wanted like a workout area, kind of just utilizing all the space that they have. They have a massive door in the back for their old outside kitchen, and so we're just turning it into a very usable space.
So it is super cool because it was just an outdoor kitchen that they were not using at all. It was like really, really wasted space. So we are putting in a spot for them to do. They said they wanted mini fridge, gym stuff, all of those things. So that's what we're putting in over here. Lincoln is helping me wipe down all the tight spaces.
I'm gonna too.
Jesse's over here.
Playing with my trucks, but I'm gonna go get a cloth to help.
You're gonna get a cloth to help too? What were you playing?
Just my toys.
Yeah, were you playing Matt's Off-Road Recovery?
Yeah, but this is not going anywhere.
We are going to take out the fridge because, why are we taking out the fridge?
We're gonna go bigger, so I think we're going wider and possibly deeper. We're gonna get the fridge out and get our actual measurements of what we can do, realizing we need to give it some space at the back, but they want a bigger fridge, so we're hopefully gonna do that. But in order to do that, up here in this gap,
I was about to say, what's this tool? What's
there's
happening
6 screws there, and this is my, whether you can see them in there or not, my concoction of all of my different size extensions.
Oh my gosh, how many do you have?
So we got the deep socket, then we got 1, 2, 3, an adapter to go up to my 1/2 inch because that's the only way I could do it. 4 or 5 extensions plus the drill.
That's kind of comedic, Sean.
It is.
Can you actually buy a tool like that without like...
I would imagine you can probably get some longer extensions that would do it all in one, but I don't know how often I'm gonna end up using a 2-foot extension, so we're gonna just get it up in here. Okay. Don't have any in there. Let's see if we can get this sucker out of here.
Okay. Need a hand taking it out?
Yes.
This is why it's good to have little kids. Oh, you can't crawl back there? You're hoping Jesse would be small enough. I guess it's Lincoln's turn. Lincoln's turn to crawl back there. Unplug. Oh, he's not strong enough.
Yeah.
Oh, this has a big extension. There's a ton of space.
Getting the old refrigerator out so we can put a bigger refrigerator because there's tons of space in here
Follow
to do
the
it.
cord. Where does the cord go?
We're just wrapping up week 1 of demo, paint prep, and finalizing all of the last minute design plans. And we're getting it all cleaned up. We're gonna leave for the weekend, come back on Monday, hopefully finish masking, which I was hoping to get done today. I did not. And then we can start painting next week. So follow along as we keep renovating this RV.